Well, now we're doing section 3.2, which has to do with multiplication and division. And our first question asks us to multiply 5.26 times 0.03. And let's see. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 2 is 6. And add 1 is 7. 3 times 5 is 15. And we've got 2 decimal places here and 2 there, so we add those up and we have to move that decimal over 4 places, and that's what we get. So now number 2, it says round to the nearest tenth, so we've got 7.473, and if we round that to the nearest tenth, because the following number or digit in the hundredths position is 5 or greater than 5, then we're going to round up, and this will become 7.5. And so now for number 3, we've got to divide 4.7 into 12.3. So one thing we can do, we can move this decimal over once as long as we move this decimal over once. So now we're multiplying we're dividing 47 into 123. So here's our decimal point now. And we'll put some zeros behind this decimal. And so this looks confusing, so let's eliminate the confusion. And now, 47 goes into 123, I would say twice, because 3 times would be close to 150. So 2 times that is 94. 2 times 7 is 14, and 2 times 4 is 8, and carry the 1, you get a 9. And the difference is going to be 29. 4 from 13, because I'll borrow 1 from the 2, is 9. And 9, and what makes 11? And that's 2. And now we'll bring down the 0, because we have to round this to the nearest hundredth. So, 47 times what is close to 290, but not quite 290, and I would say 6. So 6 times 7 is 42, and 6 times 4 is 24, plus 4 is 28. And now we'll subtract. We'll borrow 1 from the 9, and 2 from 10 is 8. So, and now we borrowed 1 from the 9, so that gives us an 8. Let's add them up. 8 and 2 is 10, and 1 and 8 is 10, so it works. And now we'll bring down a 0, and I guess we'll multiply by 1, and we get a 47 here. And 47, 7 and what is 10? Well, that's going to be 73, because we borrowed, or 3, we borrowed 1 from the 8, and 4 and what is 7, and that's a 3, and we'll bring down a 0. Now one more time, let's see, let's multiply times 7, and when we do that, I get a 329, and the difference is 1. But we're going to round up to the nearest hundredth. So since the thousandths digit is a 7, that's greater than 5, this will become, rounding to the nearest hundredths, 2.62. And we're done with it. Now we have 2 more questions to do here, and we have to find the average of these sets of values, and that means we add them up, and when I added them up, I get 661, and there happens to be 8 of them, so we'll divide by 8. That's how we find the average, and that equals 82 2.625. And if we were going to round that to the nearest integer, then that would round to, we'll round up to 83. And by the way, you can use a calculator on all these problems. So I'm doing it the long way, but you can use a calculator. And 5, finally, how much total medication will a patient receive if he is given 0.075 milligram tablets each day for 12 days? So I guess he's getting 0.075 milligrams per day, and he's going to receive these for 12 days. So let's just multiply these. The days will divide out, and when we carry out this multiplication of 12 times 0.075, I get 0.9 milligrams. And we've done it.